Welcome into All Things LA Real Estate. My name is PK Noel. We are heading out to Silver Lake, Echo Park for your November real estate updates. Some of the best neighborhoods on the east side, my old stomping grounds. I lived in Silver Lake for nearly 10 years. Sits basically, if you take Hollywood, you take Sunset Boulevard all the way down east, and before you get to downtown, there is Silver Lake and Echo Park. If you're not familiar with the areas, incredible downtown areas, walking Sunset Boulevard, great schools, low on crime, low on homeless, incredible place to live. I'm going to break down everything you need to know. We're getting the current numbers. We'll do some month over month. We'll look at some year over year. End of the video, I'm going to break down a few homes that have caught my eye as we try and find you some value in the neighborhoods. Let's go. Jumping into the current statistics, one thing that is actually very good, we've seen some slowing in the Silver Lake Echo Park market as we get into the current statistics. That's not the good part. The good part is we have very consistent numbers in Silver Lake Echo Park. It gives us good data points. It gives us good information. It gives us an opportunity to track appreciation and home prices. So a lot of consistent information in Silver Lake and Echo Park neighborhoods, which are very good, especially for someone like myself who is very data-driven in their real estate career. Currently, we have 66 homes available for sale. We've been going month after month after month, sitting in the 60s with the homes available for sale. 19 of those 66 homes have done a price drop, so 29%, one of the higher numbers on the east side of Los Angeles right now. Not a red flag. Normally, if you see 29% of the homes in a certain neighborhood doing price drops, something horrible happened in those neighborhoods, but it's just the reality of the real estate industry right now. Rates are still around 7.5% at the time of this taping. Now, Jerome Powell did pause the rate hike last time out. We saw the biggest rate drop we've seen in a very long time because of it. We got one more visit with him before the end of the year. Our last inflation numbers dropped down to 3.2%, which is incredible. So we might be kind of making that turn. Nothing's certain. Things can go awry at any moment if you follow the world, but it is a decent sign in that regard. But I'm not too worried about the 29%. There is nothing wrong with Silver Lake and Echo Park. Most neighborhoods are seeing 15, 20, 25% price drops because essentially there's just not enough buyers who can afford. Affordability is certainly at a decade's low. So we just kind of see that from a general perspective. That's just the reality of how things are going. The minimum price to get in the neighborhood right now is $750K. We are going to talk about that home in the final segment in homes that have caught my eye because you do not typically see a $750K opportunity in Silver Lake or Echo Park. Our top end right now, we have a home available for $4.395. That is a very, very familiar home to us. Very interesting situation going on with that. We'll break it down at the end of the video. Average right now, homes available for sale is 1.738, 691. We are stuck in that 1.7 range in Silver Lake and Echo Park. That is one of the numbers that is very, extremely consistent. It's one of the numbers when you have that, it's a great aspect because it gives you a strong, solid perspective as far as a data point, and you can kind of track appreciation, where the neighborhood's going, prices. You know, it's very hard to, if you're a homeowner, to specifically see if your home is appreciating. You don't really know. The market dictates it. A home buyer has to make that purchase. So there's no like direct, distinct formula for appreciation, but there's kind of some key points you can focus in on. And when you have consistency, especially in a for sale average perspective, it can give you some insight year over year if that's something that you're tracking. And we get that consistency very vividly here in the neighborhoods in Silver Lake Echo Park. Average days on market is 49 days. We're keeping an eye on that number, right? Because if you follow along with any of these monthly updates, I do it for all the neighborhoods on the east side. Subscribe to the channel. 60 days is our mark. When we get to 60 days, we're going to start to see that price drops increase even higher because no one wants to sit on their home for 2 months. If you try and sell your home, you have the anticipation that within 30, 45, 60 days, the deal is done. So if you're 60 days deep and you haven't even got the offer that you wanted, pretty much, unless your agent's going to go out and do some extra, marketing and there's a bunch of different means to do that. Most won't. Your only tool is the price drop. So we're keeping our eye on that as we get into these winter months, December, January, February. We took a quick peek into November of 2022. We had 32 homes sell in the neighborhood, 102% clip. So on average, 2% over the list prices you would see. we will see if we can get back to that number. It's not, last November, obviously, real estate wasn't incredible as well. We didn't have super high, things always kind of trend down in the winter months. Not that we have winter out here, but in the winter months, technically, people just don't want to move during the holidays, schools, kids, things like that. So let's jump over to last month so we can get a little bit more distinct information into exactly what's going on out in the neighborhoods. When you're doing market analysis for any kind of financial sector, especially when it comes to real estate, obviously a long-term projection is given to give you a better kind of data size, a better understanding of what's going to happen. But if you're watching this video, if you're somebody who's trying to purchase right now, or you're thinking about getting into the market, what's going to be most relevant is what's happening right now. That's why we always take a peek at last month, so you can see specifically how the market's reacting and what's going down. So we look into October out in Silver Lake and Echo Park. We had 19 homes sell at 106% clip. That is by far the lowest amount of transactions we've seen in a very long time. Just looking back at the 3 months prior, we were at 29, 29, 29, and now we've dropped all the way down to 19. So things are definitely slowing in Silver Lake Echo Park. Part of the reason because of that is we were seeing the transactions above 2 million, above 3 million basically come to a closing halt. That is obvious why that's happening. Nobody can finance a 7.5% interest rate for the high ticket prices. So most of our sales are coming in the lower end. And when you look at, a $1.7 million average home price, that is much higher than most of the neighborhoods outside of, your La Cañadas or, your Los Feliz, your Pasadenas. It's higher than pretty much every other neighborhood on the east side. So if you're kind of been pushed out of this neighborhood, you go to a values perspective, maybe Cypress Park, San Gabriel, Alhambra, Mount Washington, Eagle Rock. Do breakdowns on all those if you're interested. But the minimum sale last month, we had a home sale for $760K. It sold $41K over the list price. Complete project there. You're not going to get in the neighborhood in most instances around that $720, $750K mark. The top end, we did have a sale last for $4.1 million, so good on them. That home sold for $100K above the list price, so it's listed for $4, went for 4.1. It's about 2.5%. So good on them to get that deal through. Like I mentioned, we're just not seeing a ton of transactions in that kind of price range. Likely a cash buyer, because that's who you can attract when you're spending $4 million. Average, another crazy consistent number that we see every single month is 1.584, 342. That average home sale is in Silver Lake and Echo Park is consistently in the 1.5. So our average list has been consistently in the 1.7. Our average sale has been 1.5. Why is that? It goes back to what I just mentioned. We're just not seeing higher end sales going through. So when those attractive homes, people love to live in Silver Lake. I love living in Silver Lake. It is an incredible spot. Same thing with Echo Park. So when attractive homes come available, what can they afford at this point? We're getting more transactions on the lower end. So the ones that actually sell, especially, if a nice home comes on the market for 1.3 in Silver Lake, it's going to sell. If a nice home comes on the market for 2.3, it may or may not sell. So there's kind of the logic as far as how all that goes. Average days on market, 25, nothing to worry about there. As far as the sales go, you typically see it between 15 and 40. When it gets below 15, there's a lot of people who got their eye on the neighborhood, and maybe it's time to, pony up and get with an agent so I don't miss, a good opportunity. But 25 is pretty typical. If we take a quick peek into October of 2022, we had 30 homes sell, 101% clip, so meaning 1% on average above that list price. 37% decline year over year, the worst on the east side for the month of October. So huge declines in Silver Lake Echo Park as far as the transactions go. It's unfortunate. It's common. It's not something that should deter you from the neighborhood in general, but it's just the reality of where the real estate games. I'm assuming December is going to be a little bit of a gloomy month from a real estate perspective as well, and that should be, right? I mean, home prices are at an all-time high. Inventories at, decades low. Rates are at 7.5%. It's just, we had a pandemic. We had trillions of dollars put into the economy. We just have a lot of things going on, and sometimes you got to feel the pain of those actions. So it's not something that's out of the ordinary. It's not something that should be expected. We power through. We keep doing the work. We keep it moving. Speaking of keeping it moving, let's go see if we can find some value in the neighborhood, let's check out homes that have caught my eye. Homes that have caught my eye. So this is all of my, consistent followers' favorite segment of the videos. Obviously, it's going to be the rest of just data points, just information for you. This is the exciting point where we get to take a look at some homes. But if you're new here, here's how we do it. First thing we're going to do, break down the entry level. What's the minimum price to get into the neighborhood? I want you to know what that floor looks like. If you're dying to move into Silver Lake, this gives you a perspective, if you can barely afford it, of maybe there's some opportunities there. So we're going to go over the entry level. We're also going to do PK's top pick. That is going to be a value play. I'm letting the numbers speak to me. I'm going to find you a home that has the strongest potential on the market to appreciate. You have to do that. You especially have to do that right now. If you're somebody who's going to finance, you need a home that has strong potential to appreciate, because if you find a home that depreciates, you might be in some big trouble. You don't want to be in big trouble when you have a 6-7 figure loan on your hand. So that's PK's top pick. Then we're going to look at the ceiling. We're going to see what the top dog is. It's a nice little metric to kind of have an understanding of where the neighborhood's at. Plus, it's fun to look at extremely nice houses. We do not repeat houses that I've done months past. I will give you a quick recap of what's going on with those homes for those who are following along, but I don't want to be repetitive for those people as well, so we don't do full breakdowns. Let's get into the entry level. So here's the housekeeping. September's entry-level position was 312 North Mountain. That was the home listed for $779, $999. They did a $50K price drop when we did a recap in last month's October. It is under contract right now. I will keep you updated when we get to December and let you know if that goes through. We do have a record number of homes that are pending and under contract falling out in escrow. So it's possibly not gone for good, but I'll let you know how that shakes out. October's entry level was 706 Echo Park. It was listed for $849,500. Remember, they went into escrow, and then escrow got canceled, and they got back onto the market. It's the one that sits by Echo Park Lake with the long stairs. Feel terrible for these home sellers because they had a sale on their hands, and now they've canceled completely. So they are off the market. Hopefully they're just doing some upgrades and they're going to get back things going with the new year. But unfortunately, nothing came to fruition for those home sellers. But bottom of the barrel right now, 1916 Whitmore Avenue, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 544 square feet. Little baby home here, complete starter, little guy, $750K is the price on this one. $1,378 per square foot. You get into the below $1 million range. I want that per square foot number to be between $400 and $800, and this is $1,378. But what are you supposed to do with a home that's only 544 square feet? The lot's $3,671. That's very average, especially in Silver Lake. You don't have a ton of large lots in the Silver Lake Echo Park area. There's just no room to do so, and the houses are kind of crammed in a very kind of suburban feel to it. But 1378 is pretty high. A little bungalow here. It actually sits, obviously Alvarado comes up and it turns into the 2 highway, best highway in Los Angeles. It's that neighborhood just up to the northeast there, up off the hillside. The bungalow's up there. So a little bit of an interesting spot. I got some friends who live up there, so it's not terrible. You can kind of get some access around, but you're up there, up on that hill there. The pictures are atrocious, as you can see. I don't know who does the listings on these things, but well, I do. But yeah, I mean, get a good photographer. Let's move on. Let's jump over to PK's top pick. Housekeeping on the PK's top picks. We had the September home that we did, 2680 Ivanhill Terrace. It was the one for 1.479. It is still active. That is the one that sits off of the Silver Lake Reservoir. It is a full rebuild. That neighborhood is $2.8 million, $2.9 million all day. So getting this for 1.479. If you have the means to purchase this home and spend the extra money to get it rebuilt and you don't need to move in immediately, you need to take a look at this house. So go back to September real estate update for Silver Lake Echo Park. Look for PK's top pick and you get all the information you need on that home, as we did a full breakdown on that. And that's how kind of all these go. But that home has some serious potential. Someone's going to buy it. Someone's going to put, hundreds of thousands of dollars in, do the updates, and they're going to have a gem on their hands. But it's not, a turnkey single family residence opportunity. But take a look at that if that kind of sounds like something that might be in your ballpark. You will love living in that part of Silver Lake, I can assure you that. October's was 1001 North Rampart Boulevard. It was the one for 1.49. It was 1.599 when we talked about it. They've dropped the price $100K to 1.499, so it's still on the market. Beautiful home. The comps were incredible. Had that nice fence out front. So I do think there's some serious value there, especially with the new $100K price drop. So go back to October Real Estate. Check that home out as well. But this month, we're going to do better. We're going to get you a home that's not going to last. It's 2712 Glassell Street. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1672 square feet. It's listed for just over $1 million, so 1.065 million. So $500K less than the average sale price in Silver Lake Echo, $700K less than the average list price. So this home is going to get some attraction. $636 per square foot. Like I mentioned, we love that. That is a great number. You're getting good bang for your buck as far as the size of the home. The lot's 4662. Not too bad for Silver Lake Echo Park. Like I just mentioned, there's not a lot of opportunities for huge lots in this neighborhood, but it's an extremely nice house. As you can see, California bungalow here. Sits right off of kind of, if you're familiar with like Beverly and Rampart on that south side, basically right very close to where those accesses come to the 101. Little tip on that is if you're going to take the 101 south, go off Coronado, not off Benton. It'll save you about 5 minutes every time you do that. This home in 2017 was worth $460K. 19% increase in 1 year. In 2018, it sold for $895K. 2021 was a record year throughout our country. Obviously, rates were zero. That's part of the reason why we're in this mess from a real estate perspective. But this home is certainly a good value perspective because it's only going up from what it's listed at, $170K through 5 years, including that 2021 year. So, the average in this neighborhood is about 1.3 million. So there's value in this home. It's a solid area on the south side of Silver Lake down there off Beverly. And it's a beautiful, beautiful home. So definitely get out and take a look at this home if that's right in your kind of wheelhouse as far as what you're looking for and you're trying to get into Silver Lake. If you need help with that, reach out to your boy. Let's finish off with the top dog. Couple interesting things off the jump here. The August, we're going way back, the 1321 Edgecliff. We've been following this home. So it's originally listed for $3.999. It was the duplex. And then they switched it and they turned it into selling just one of the buildings, and they tried to get 1.995. So that's what the listing was like last month. Now they've gone back to the duplex. So they put it back up as a listing as a duplex for $3.495. So they've lowered it $500K. They're just trying to get this off their hands. You see this happen sometimes, especially in slow markets. There's some type of investor or builder who put this together and they couldn't get it off their hands. The top dog in the neighborhood, the $4.395 million home, is the 2512 Berkeley. That was in the July real estate update for Silver Lake and Echo Park. That was the one that was in the neighborhood where I lived for 10 years. Beautiful spot. Incredible neighborhood. You will love this neighborhood, but that is also a dual residency, 2 homes on the property. So it's probably an investor, or if you want to buy, put somebody in the back, you can do that as well. But very weird situation here because they listed in July. We talked about it. Beautiful spot. Then they pulled it off. They pulled the listing in August, and then they put it back onto the market in September. Remember that? And then they pulled it off last month in October, and now we're back. So what I'm saying is if you like this house, maybe get out and see it before November ends. Otherwise, it sounds like they're probably going to pull it off in December. But same kind of thing as the Edgecliff home. It's, more of an investment property, double rentals, incredible neighborhood. Go back to July real estate update. Look for the top listing symbol, and you can get some more information on that home. But we're going to just go down a tier, down to 2222. Bancroft Avenue. It's a 3-bedroom, 4-bath, 3425 square feet, listed for $3.150 million. Now this one's an apartment complex. Technically, it's the Bancroft Towers. We don't really do apartment complexes on this this show, these monthly updates, but this one's a little bit unique, so I figured why not? Let's run through it. So $919 per square foot. You get near the top end. I told you earlier I like the 4s to 7, 4 to 800 per square foot. Not when we're talking on the luxury side of things with updated homes. Typically, you'll see that around 1,000, 1,100. Admittedly, I don't have as much information as far as what luxury apartments go for, so I'm not really too sure if 919 is too bad. But the lot's 9,028. And this one's a little bit more interesting because it's you get a main home. It's a 3322442 beautiful luxury home, and then there's a back detached studio that's just a 682. So maybe an ADU possibility there. ADUs are all of the hot takes here in Los Angeles. Every home is building ADUs basically because affordability is at an all-time low. So we'll see how this goes. It is beautiful. If I'm going to live in an apartment complex, it's actually off of Glendale Boulevard. So if you take Silver Lake Boulevard all the way to where it ends off Glendale Boulevard, it's off that back end. So nice little area, over there by the 365, pretty accessible to get to all the highways. And you're kind of like almost in the valley. So like the valley is technically probably like Glendale-ish. I consider the valley the west side, but like it's kind of on like the back side of Silver Lake where you're not dealing with as much of like the day-to-day city traffic. So we'll keep our eye on this one, keep you updated next month in December, but it'll be interesting to see if this jumps off the board. Thank you so much for watching the video. We do this every single month for almost every neighborhood on the east side. We're doing Pasadena, Silver Lake, Eagle Rock, Highland Park, Glendale, La Cañada, El Sereno, Cypress Park. The list goes on and on. So like and subscribe to the channel if you are so inclined. If you're somebody who's looking to purchase a home on the east side of Los Angeles or sell your home, I am happy to help out with you. Reach out to me. You can send me a direct message online, or all of my phone numbers are listed. Even if you're somebody who's hesitant with 7% interest rates, that puts us in the same boat. It always helps to start preparing for future opportunities because you don't want to miss the boat there. We will tread lightly. We will look for value, and we will get it done. I also do a ton of other videos. I get into the schools. I get into, the restaurants in the neighborhood. I get into the attractions in the neighborhood. I do some other fun videos like Quick Cribs. So once again, like and subscribe if you are so inclined. Have a great day. Be kind. Yeah.